All right. Now, if you're already angry, prepare to be as angry as you can possibly be.
Cow achievement. Trans women can indeed lactate. You would follow the Newman-Goldfarb protocol, a medical protocol designed to help women induce lactation if they were not like getting pregnant themselves. I'm gonna be a mother. That's in the works, in the process. And part of that process is that I am working to induce lactation to be able to breastfeed our youngest child. Yeah, actually mommy Naomi. I've actually already successfully induced lactation. Like, I can actually make milk now, which has been a very interesting and very cool experience. It's like very biologically affirming too, which is something that's like gatekept from trans women, like so difficult. Both motherly and
Okay. So this person is named Naomi, allegedly, and they put out a little TikTok video saying, guess what? Through the magic of science, I have been able to activate my male mammillary glands, which are usually inactive in a man, and produce milk, which I now intend to feed to my adopted infant son. And there is picture evidence, which of course Naomi has posted to the internet, proving that he has in fact managed to breastfeed his son. Actually, he's pumping and then using a bottle feed because it doesn't work naturally. Go figure. The baby's unable to latch and extract the liquid from his nipples, so he's having to pump first. Here is the baby. Motherhood is beautiful, says Naomi. You might notice that's an 18+ account. That's because that Naomi posts his OnlyFans porn to the same Twitter channel that he is posting pictures of the baby on. So, Alana says, I just found out this guy has an OnlyFans where he often dresses up in cow print and cow ears and calls lactation cow achievement. I feel sick. Quoting Naomi saying, just finished my morning pumping and I can confirm you that it is indeed breast milk. I can cite peer-reviewed journal articles about lactation and trans women, but they might just be too hard for you to read because your post-millennial is written at an elementary school level. And here is the OnlyFans content where Naomi is dressed up as a fat tranny in cow print and doing moo stuff for all the tranny cow fetishists out there. One such picture, this picture, you may notice, has a filter that is off, so we can zoom in and really see. Actually, no, this is still filtered to shit. It's just not doing as good a job as the other filters. So this is a man with hair extensions who is ready to be a cow. Now, I've actually listened to this. This is Naomi's 20 minute long rebuttal to all the hate he has gotten. And this part in particular stood out to me, which I will play for you now.
Lactation induction in a transgender woman, macronutrient analysis, and patient perspective. Here was actually the table of the nutrients in the trans woman's milk compared to control milk. And what's really funny is that every nutrient, the trans woman's milk was better than the control milk provided by a cis woman. More proteins, more fats, more lactose, more calories. And what the...
So, I clipped that because it was really Keffel's ass. The whole being a trans woman is not being a woman. It's about being better than women. He goes on to say at some point in this article that cis men can also lactate, which if you have specific conditions, you can lactate as a man. This is true. This has been documented. The first article that he cited, and I pulled this up, was from 1981, and of course they just call it breast fluid of a man, not milk. But they compare the nutritional value of it with a woman's milk, from the man that has male galactorrhea versus breast milk from a woman. Both the samples taken from the 3 samples taken from a man a month apart, and colostrum and milk from a woman. Colostrum, if you don't know, is the first milk that a woman has while pregnant. It starts like the week before, and it's like the week of the birth. And this is also important in cows as well. It's called colostrum. This I don't know what Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, copyright 1981 from the Endocrine Society. This is out of Australia for the person who asked, and it evaluates the nutritional value of the male excretion from the female excretion, and it's about the same. Then Naomi cites another article, which I'll talk about in greater detail, but also cites this one from very recently, the lactation induction in transgender women macronutrient analysis and patient perspectives. This one is locked, and that was not on PubSci or whatever the fuck. So I bought it. I read through both of these journals. This is only 2 pages, and this one is not much longer. I paid $30, and I will share this with a couple people who may be interested in the scientific values of this to see if it gets out there. So this is what it says. This is from a woman. I'll get into that in a second. I read through it. Now, you can't see this because it's tilted. You can tilt your head if you want to. But the training was on estradiol, progesterone, and domperidone. Estradiol is just regular estrogen that they give trannies. Progesterone is what they use to help produce lactation even in women, and domperidone is an androgen that they give to transgenders that is also it was formulated as a heart medication and causes heart complications. And then this is the actual nutritional value of the milk evaluated from the trans person, according to this one person. It's conducted by one clinician on, I think, the other one that they said it was 4 people, and then this one is 1 person. And at no point in this study, the other study, do they consider the actual child and what that could do to the child at any point. The thing that's really, really interesting that I will point out from this is that, and sorry, this is on the sideways page, so you have to like tilt your head if you want to see it. At all points, although the composition of the male breast liquid does change, similar to the way that colostrum changes with milk, the volume does not change, regardless to how they tweak the medications that the patient was taking. It's always 150 milliliters per day. If you want to open up your calculator right now and do 150 milliliters to ounce, you'll see that that is 5 imperial fluid ounces. And then you can type into Google or your preferred chat program or chat GPT, how much milk does a baby need per day? Keep in mind that this volume is per day. It is not per pump. It is per day. At the first week, a baby will need 150 to 200 milliliters per kilo of their weight. At no point from the moment a child is born does a tranny because in men you have fewer milk producing mammary glands, so at no point does the tranny produce enough milk. And what's very interesting about both the second study, which I don't have access to, and this study, but I do have an analysis of it, at no point ever do the clinicians ask a very important question outside of that. Let's do before I say what it is, what's very conspicuously absent from the analysis of the contents of the male breast fluid is this. Let's say that we had a big pool of shit. It was just a big pool of feces somewhere in Africa, and it's a big pool of pee-pee poo-poo, and there's no water anywhere near this. All the water in the area is in the big pool of pee-pee poo-poo, and all the starving Africans are dying of thirst, and they need to drink water, and the only way that they could possibly get water is if this giant pool No, Aiden, I had to pay for it. Aiden, if you want to shoot me an email, I will send you this with the DOI, and you'll see that it's not on PubSci. And I don't know, maybe that'll change over time, hint, hint. But, so we have this big pool of feces, right? And the Africans need to drink from it. So a genius from the LA School of Medicine says, I have this carnivorous flesh-eating bacteria, and when I found out on accident that if we put this flesh-eating, deadly to humans bacteria in the pee-pee poo-poo water, it also purifies the water. It cleanses the water of any human excrement. And then all we have to do is take that, boil it, mix it with some chlorine, and we have water with zero trace of pee pee poo poo. What is your first thought when you hear this? Do you think maybe, what about the carnivorous flesh-eating bacteria? Well, what about the chlorine? Are there any traces of that? And you're reading the study, and it makes no mention of how much chlorine and carnivorous flesh-eating bacteria is in the output of the water and how safe it is to actually drink. The breast milk analysis that I have seen, all three of them, make zero mention about how much estradiol, progesterone, and domperidone ends up in the breast milk. They don't even acknowledge that there is any risk that the breast milk might have these contaminants in them. And if you want to know how retarded it is, like, well, I don't know, maybe it's like purified by the kidneys and it's just like assumed automatically that nothing leaks in from what you eat to breast milk. No. If you go on antibiotics as a woman, you stop breastfeeding. If you go under anesthesia, you stop breastfeeding. If you drink, you have to pump and dump your breast milk. If you take any kind of intoxicants, you are advised to pump and dump your breast milk because you don't want any of that shit ending up in the breast milk, and it does end up in the breast milk. So, you can be guaranteed that in this cute picture of Naomi and their beautiful child, that it has ingested by proxy estradiol, progesterone, and domperidone. Because there is no consideration that that is going to end up in the breast milk, and it certainly does. So he's sitting there saying, actually, it's better than women. I'm better than women. Doesn't even consider pumping drugs straight into that kid's mouth. And neither does what are we talking about? Neither does Amy Weimer. Amy K. Weimer. I mean, it's one letter off. If this person's name was Amy K. Weimar, I would be. I am just saying that's like a crazy level coincidence. In case you want, I'll talk about Miss Weimer a little bit more. So this is an article. I will post this in the chat, and I'll hopefully remember to include it within the actual description of the video as well. I think this is a woman, probably a woman, but she's a doctor, and she goes over the clinical trials, and this is way too long to read. But he or she, the doctor, covers their concerns with the study. One of them is that the contamination. I think that they also mentioned the volume. Yes. Considering that a 5-pound baby needs 12 ounces of breast milk and more as their weight increases, 8 ounces was clearly never enough. So the authors claim that the patient managed to achieve the volume of milk that allowed him to be the sole source of nourishment for her children is incorrect. There is no way for a tranny to be the sole source of nutrition, even barring everything else. If we assume that it is a highly nutritious and pure source of energy and nutrients for a baby, they do not create enough of it. They would have to be mixed with formula. The authors of the study give no indication that they analyzed the content of the man's nipple discharge, even though they talked at length about the benefits of breastfeeding on the mother and baby, none of which were applicable to the male patient or indeed the infant he allegedly fed. The study did not explore the reasons behind the fully sexed males. So the tranny that was in that study was intact. They didn't even have their dick removed at that point. Considering that psychosexual disorders such as autogenophilia are present in proportionally typically fully sexed heterosexual males who identify as trans women, that is an ethical issue. They mentioned that the troon that was in the study here. There is no evidence that clinicians who conducted this experiment met or interviewed with the mother to confirm these claims, or that they obtained informed consent from the mother by discussing possible risks that male-induced drug nipple discharge could pose to the infant. So the tranny arrived and said that, explained that her partner was pregnant but not interested in breastfeeding, and that she, the trans-identified male patient, hoped to take on the role of being the primary food source for her infant. At no point ever did the clinicians decide, should we check and see if this is true? Should we talk to the mother and make sure that this is actually what's happening? As far as the journal discloses, that is not the case. So the guy just walked in there and said, "I want to be a cow, moo moo moo," and they're like, "All right, boy, welcome to LA. We're gonna fix you up right here," and they just rolled with it. So this is not the same drug combination that was in the third study that I read, but the doctor says, furthermore, there's no evidence of the patient. So this is outside. This is medication that the tranny in this case. By the way, the tranny in this study, 47 years old, 47-year-old baby conceived with IVF. It says there's no evidence that the patient stopped using clonazepam, which can cause sedation in infants, or zolpidem, also known as Ambien, which could exacerbate effects of clonazepam after the feeding commenced. So he was already on 2 different medications that can cause sedation issues through the breast milk, because again, medication contamination in breast milk is important. No indication that he stopped doing that before they started breastfeeding. When we talk about the safety of drugs in breastfeeding, they weigh benefits of breastfeeding on health and bonding between mother and child, with risks withdrawing medically necessary medicines mother might be taking. Mothers who take medications that could be passed to their babies via breast milk often decide not to breastfeed just so that they don't risk affecting their baby's health. Contrast this with a man who takes unnecessary medications, one of which is banned in the United States, just so they can fulfill his desire to breastfeed. And that is in reference to... I got domperidone wrong. It was... Spironolactone is a heart medication used for its side effect of androgens, and is banned in the United States for that purpose. Estradiol and micronized progesterone, and occasional clonazepam and zolpidem for panic disorder and insomnia. So we have a 47-year-old male to female autogenophiliac on Ambien and I don't know if clonazepam is an SRI, but it's like he needs, what is it? I'm not a doctor. I can only, Klonopin or Rivotril, used to prevent seizures, panic disorders, anxiety disorders, and movement disorder known as akathisia, is a tranquilizer of the benzodiazepine class. So it's a benzodiazepine that he needs to take because he has panic attacks, because he's a gross freak of nature, and everybody knows it. And when he walks down the streets, he can feel the hate pouring upon him like the fires of hell. So I will leave it there. This is a very well-written article. It can be understood in plain English. It's on a website that's very hard to say aloud, especially for me. La Scapiglacia. It's written there, .com. This is from 2018. So I would love to see if they have more articles, especially about this last one that just came out. And on that note, here's a quote. And I mentioned this third one because Naomi is actually directly quoting it from this. But there are some other interesting tidbits from it. Although there have been now 2 formally documented cases of successfully breastfeeding in trans women, there's an ongoing barrier to exclusive breastfeeding in trans women, in which there is relatively low milk supply. This was seen in both our case and the one presented by Riesman and Goldstein. The volume of breast milk produced by both the trans women in these case studies would not sustain a growing infant without supplementation. Supply deficiencies may be due to a lack of hormonal regimen guidelines for trans women, or fewer ducts in alveoli in trans women compared to cis women, which is the main thing. Let's take a look at a boob. This is a boob. You can see that it's pointing to the... Where is it? Alveoli. I don't know which of these produce milk. I'm assuming that this shit in the middle does. Now, this is booba. See it? This is a male booba. It doesn't have the shit in it. There's fewer of them. They develop when you become a woman. If you never become a woman because you're a man, you don't get the shit, and you don't have a booba, and you can't make as much. You may have some residual ducts, but you're never going to have what a woman has. Where is it? It is known that oral progesterone is not well absorbed and is extensively metabolized by the liver. Therefore, other methods A progesterone delivery that bypasses the liver may be superior for breast maturation and lactation induction. Regardless of the outcome pertaining to the volume of milk production, this case was successful in that our patient was able to have an experience that was formerly only available to cis women. We should therefore rethink what successful breastfeeding means. The main goal of lactation induction in transgender women may not be necessarily be milk production, but rather non-nutritional benefits that come from breastfeeding. So this is what this glorious woman, Amy Weimar, has decided to conclude with. This is not a joke. Successful. This is from this one. Yeah. Where is it? I swear it's from this one. Am I like retarded? Oh, outcomes. Oh, maybe it was from the byline. Whatever. So her conclusion is that, sure, the tranny is not able to produce enough milk to actually sustain life. We don't know if it's clean or not, or what the long-term adverse effects are. But the real benefit here is that they like it. And just because the baby doesn't benefit at all, who gives a fuck? That's not what this is about. And we should redefine we should redefine what success means so that we should redefine what the success this this is where the scientific method is in 2023 when it comes to trannies. You ready? Used to be you have a hypothesis, you test it, you see the outcome, you draw a conclusion. Now we have a hypothesis, we do everything possible to make our hypothesis work, and then at the end, our conclusion is that we redefine the definition of success so that our hypothesis is true. Is your hypothesis wrong? Then just redefine what success means, and then it's success. Wow! Now that you consider it that way, that we're not actually trying to feed a child and raise a healthy offspring with our breast milk, and the definition of success is simply that it makes the tranny feel good and makes their pee-pee hard. Then yeah, actually this is a total success. Wow, I'm gonna publish this shit and charge $30 for it, and then we're gonna base how we behave as a society off this document. Wonderful. So I showed the publication by Zill Goldstein. Dr. I don't see a picture of Dr. Tamar Reisman here, but this is the wonderful MD Zill Goldstein, family nurse practitioner. And from the University of Southern California in Los Angeles, UCLA, an endocrinologist, diabetes and metabolism fellowship at UCLA's David Geffen School of Medicine. Oh, it gets better there, children. I think, both of them, but Goldstein works at UCLA too, but Goldstein, both of them also went to, only Reisman went to the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai, New York. And now what about Miss Weimar? Well, Miss Weimar is a real woman. And I noticed this. If we go to her publication, she has some disclosures. I'm curious if what conflicts of interest exist. She published it for free. She didn't get paid to make this shit. What did Miss Weimar get out of publishing this? She says the authors declared the following potential conflicts of interest with respect to the research, authorship, and or publication of this article. The author was the treating physician for the participant in this case study. So case study N=1, funded and published out of her own interest. But what could her conflict of interest be? Oh, her son is trans. Her son is going to be a beautiful woman one day. Could that potentially be a conflict of interest that would be worth noting in your publication, that you have a trans child? No, that would be a stretch. Why would anyone care to know that? How would that distort my perspectives on this matter at all? Let's just draw conclusions and redefine the word success. I'm a doctor. Everything I do is right and educated. Trust the science, people. They know what they're doing. Look at her. She knows what she's doing. She's a mom. And she's made no bad decisions whatsoever with her little boy. Sorry, I mean beautiful daughter. Maybe one day her beautiful daughter will. Maybe she can. I bet you she's the one writing prescriptions. Mommy knows best. Mommy knows exactly the dosage of progesterone. Oh, what fun words can I use? I want to try to mispronounce them all. She knows exactly how much estradiol and progesterone and domperidone and I was going to say the other ones as well. Benzodiazepine. She knows exactly how much her special little snowflake daughter needs, and she can pull out that pen and paper and that's 100 milligrams, 10 milligrams, 5 micrograms every day, sweetie pie. I'm going to make a woman out of you, just like I always wanted. I'm going to make you the beautiful daughter that mommy always wanted. We can get rid of that ugly thing down there, my precious daughter. We can undo God's mistakes through the power of mommy science. Sure can. So Naomi, flawless, epic cow achievement. Naomi wins. And what's really funny is that through the power of billions of dollars of funding, a corrupt, broken scientific foundation, literally billions of dollars of pharmaceuticals, and all this shit that they do to monitor and push and promote and achieve this and allow for it to exist in our society without people being hanged for it in public squares. You get a little itty bitty dimpling. It's kind of cruel almost. You get just enough milk that it feels like it's possible, but not enough to actually feed your child. Not enough that you can actually be a mother. After all the effort and all the drama and all the backing behind it, Naomi will never have what every woman on this planet can do. Pretty much every woman on this planet can do effortlessly. White women, it's not even a racial thing. White women, Asian women, Indian women, women in Africa who keep cool by putting mud in their hair are all capable of effortlessly becoming a mother and producing exactly the right composition of minerals and nutrients and fat content and lactose required for a growing baby at every stage of development without any fucking hassle or medication, almost all the time. And when you have the full backing of medical science, you get just a little taste, a little tainted evil to make you think that you might have an opportunity to be just a little bit like what women can do without effort. And that fucking rakes his asshole. Which is to say, chat, in so many words, you will never, ever, 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 ever be a woman. Never. Okay. And that's enough of that. Anonymous for 5 says, a few weeks ago I asked for prayers on YouTube Tipster because he's headed away from the Lord's grace. You said no, and that there was no saving him. Now look at Tipster, he's become worse. Father Josh, is there nothing that can be done to save this man? Dude, Tipster was like, what tranny was he sticking up for? It was Keffels and some other dude. I made a post about this and I didn't even bring it up on stream. I might be able to find this actually, because I don't think I talked about this on stream, and it's worth making fun of. I don't know anything about Tipster except that he's like a homosexual who's like in love with Keffels, and he posted like this fucking disgusting reply. It's not my dude. What thread was this in? Let's see. Aha. Okay, I did find it. Oh, I can't show it to you because it's on tour. Oh, he was defending Naomi, wasn't he? Yeah, okay, here you go. I can save this image, actually. So, what I just showed you, the fucking Naomi stuff. Here's Tipster's hot take on trannies breastfeeding children. Replies are full of people calling Naomi a creep and a groomer. Someone explained to me, how is a cis woman breastfeeding not creepy or grooming, but when it's a trans woman who's had lactation induction done, now it's creepy and grooming. Make it make sense. So yeah, that guy is fucking lost. No, really. You can pray for him if you want. Good on ya, I guess, but there's no, you can't fix that. Oh, sorry, I didn't show it. Here's the thing. Amazing. Hamburger for 5 says, nice Gino segment early in the stream. Now put Josh Jugs on camera. Give Milkies immediately. Schlop, schlop, schlop. Brr, 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 brr. Superior male nutrition and vitality. You got your money's worth on that. Tanuki Rusty Spoon Toucher for 483 says, whenever I see Troons going on about their gross nipple discharge fetish, I always think about that episode of Salad Fingers where he uses a nettle to make the milk drop out. I know what you're referring to. I remember seeing this. Here's an OG. If you've never watched Newgrounds, you're in for a shock. This is what we used to watch as kids. This is why my generation is so base and yours sucks. Where's my audio?
Oh, it seems nettles have made the milk drop out from inside my teat.
You know what? That's a great quote. Wait, hold up. I'm gonna do some real-time editing here. Give me a second. Okay, watch this. You ready? This is called editing in camera for all you. Okay, we're doing some editing in camera here. Hold on. Where's my audio?
Oh, it seems nettles have made the milk drop out from inside my teat.
You could superimpose that over some videos of this guy breastfeeding with that audio, and it would just sync up so perfectly. Okay, I'll put it back on Salad Fingers so you're not spooked. Or I'll just hide it for now. Annan Provides says, Josh, they probably get off on pumping estrogen into a baby's mouth via Troon milk. That's true. Of course they do. I mean, if Dr. Weimar does, then why can't others? Eat Dirt, Drink Bleach for 5 says, cope, seethe, and pump. Hopefully not. Unless the pump is a shotgun. Thank you.